For the first fight week of 2024 for Boxer on Sky Sports, and we kick things off with a major international fight promoted by Boxer in association with Top Rank Boxing. As we see two of the biggest stars in women's boxing today, Jonas and Meyer square off for a world title, the IBF Championship of the World. It will be airing live on Sky Sports and ESPN this Saturday from right here in Liverpool. And we start today's press conference with the undercard. I want to welcome some of the fighters that are going to be competing on Saturday, but first I would like to welcome the host of today's press conference from Sky Sports, Mr. Andy Scott, and the CEO and head of Boxer, Mr. Ben Shalom. And now introducing some of the fighters on stage. First, he is making his pro debut from right here in Liverpool, Steve Clark. The former Brazilian super bantamweight champion, Lila dos Santos Furtado. Her opponent, the undefeated 2020 Olympic bronze medalist, Karis Arningstall. Making his return, the former IBF European and IBO World Cruiserweight champion, Jack One Smack Massey. The reigning and defending WBC International Champion, Aaron McKenna. From Everton, the undefeated Mikey Talon. At the top table from Kingston, the former English champion, Jermaine Brown. His opponent, the defending English champion, Mark Jeffers. Our chief supporters first from Fulham, the former English champion, Zach Shelley. And the defending English and Commonwealth champion, he is Little Lever's meat cleaver, Jack Cullen. And now, Andy Scott, Ben Shalom, the floor is yours.
Big Mo, thank you very much to you and your moustache. Welcome everybody to Liverpool. Of course, this card topped by that brilliant fight between Natasha Jonas and Meyer. More on that later. But what an undercard we have in store for you. We're really looking forward to it. It's well matched from top to bottom. I'll first go to Ben Shalom. Ben, I mean, we will get a chance to really get our teeth into that main event, and of course so much focus is on that. But when you look at these two tables here, you must be over the moon to deliver such a packed quality undercard from top to bottom on your first show of 2024.
Yeah, it's great to be back. Happy New Year. Amazing to be back in Liverpool as well. It feels like a real Northwest show. Two Manchester lads as well that I've known for a while at the top of the super middleweight division in big fights. The undercard, good to see Jack Massey back. Steve Clark and Mikey Talon. Huge ticket sales, huge fan favourites here in Liverpool. So yeah, it feels like it's going to be a special night on Saturday. As you said, the main event is one that everyone's looking forward to, but this undercard looks very special.
Thanks, Ben. Let's get straight to it. Mikey Talon, lovely to meet you, Mikey, and we're looking forward to housing you on this bill. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself? I mean, the hook for us, that perhaps the reason you made it onto our radar is your link up with Natasha Jonas as your manager. But can you just tell us a little bit about what you want to show us on Saturday and what it's like being part of that Gallagher's Gym Champs Camp?
Yeah, on Saturday, just get the win, you know what I mean? That's what I've prepared for it. I've done loads of sparring with two-time world champion Paul Butler and undefeated Jake Todd, bronze Commonwealth medalist. So can't get much better preparation. And in the gym, seeing Natasha and that prepare for the world title fights, you know, it makes me want to push more and get to that level there.
Yeah, how have you found the transition from the amateurs to the pros? Still a young man in the very early stages of your pro career?
Well, I've been enjoying it so far, and at the gym everyone makes it a good gym, you know what I mean? It's a good environment, and just a product of the old environment, aren't you?
Will you give us an insight into this main event? I mean, of course you're going to be biased, no prizes for guessing which way you're going to go, but all confidence in Natasha?
Yeah, that's what I just think Tasha comes out with the win. If she gets a stoppage, if she gets the points to win, I just think she comes out with the win.
Well, lovely to meet you, and we look forward to you showcasing your skills under the bright lights on Saturday night. Next, let's move on to Steve Clark. Steve, I spent the week with the Smith family in Canada, so I feel like I know you pretty well. There's a lot of talk about you. The talk of the Rotunda, the talk of the Liverpool boxing scene, all eyes on you on Saturday night. No pressure at all, but what are you expecting? You only get one pro debut, so what do you want to show us on Saturday?
No, I'm looking forward to Saturday.
me and Steve have been working hard, you know, first camp together. So I'm looking forward to just putting on a good performance for all my friends and family who bought the ticket.
Very talented amateur. For those that didn't see you in the unpaid ranks, what can we expect from you? How do you describe your fighting style? Are there any comparisons or anyone that you look up to that you model yourself on that might give us a little bit of a clue?
Not really. I'm an exciting fighter. I've always been a crowd pleaser, but I wouldn't say I've got a specific style. Just a normal boxer who, you know, puts on a good performance. So that's what I'm going to do Saturday night.
May I ask you about the Rotunda? I mean, I'm not going to list all the fighters that are pro in there at the moment because I'll miss one and I'll upset one. But you know, when you've got the likes of quality of fighter, Callum Smith, to name just one who boxed at the weekend, what's it like rubbing shoulders with champions, world champions, former undisputed champions, and how much are you sort of tapping into that experience?
Well, it's great, you know, training alongside world champions like that. It just makes you realise, you know, they were in your position before, so there's no reason why you can't get to their level. And you know, just watching them, watching the technique, watching them on the pads, you're learning off them all the time. So you know, it's a great experience for myself for the future.
Yeah, well, best of luck on Saturday. You only get one pro debut, so I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you.
Jack Massey, Ben Shalom mentioned you in the intro there. Great to see you back. You've had a started family as well, so if you don't mind me asking, how's that the toughest battle that you'll have probably, the late night feeds and the early morning rises?
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, there's nothing better in life than you know, having a little baby there. So it's yeah, it's gone good. You know, it's been a year since my last fight with Parker, but you know, I can't complain because of, you know, it's been great spending time with the baby. You know, we're at the year off, so but back to it on Saturday and get the ball rolling again.
Yeah, if you don't mind me just backtracking a little bit and talking about the Parker fight, I think your reputation was enhanced on the night for going the distance with Joseph Parker, and I think it's one of those, although it was a defeat, it's one that's perhaps looking better as time goes on, and when you look at what Joseph Parker has gone on to do since. How do you reflect on that whole experience?
Yeah, definitely. You know, it's a massive confidence boost. You know, going 10 rounds, I like to, you know, heavyweight, not at my weight, but cruiserweight naturally. Going 10 rounds with him, and you know, you look at what he's done previous to that, after that fight. You know, he's just gone through everyone's steamroll, everyone. Especially Deontay Wilder, his last fight. So it's a massive confidence boost and a great learning fight. So I'm going to go into this next fight, you know, massively confident.
Yeah, you're not thinking of calling out Deontay Wilder, are you?
Yeah, where you at, Wilder? I'm only joking.
That's one for Ben to make.
We're going to stick on Twitter now.
Let me just ask you in terms of what you want to do next. It's an important fight for you the weekend. You have to get through Terry if you're going to push on to the big names in the division. What do you want to get out of 2024?
Listen, I think this is the year for me. Get this fight out of the way first. You know, he's a good tough opponent. So we've got 6 rounds on Saturday. Get through this. You know, we'll look for something else, a 10 rounder, and then we want a big fight by the end of the year. You know, if it's a world title fight, or you know, there's some names out there. Meyer, Smith. You know, them fights. We want them fights, 100%.
If I bring in promoter Ben Shalom, big admirer and big fan of Jack Massey, you've never hid that. He's talked about the likes of Chris Smith and names like that. Do you think if he can come through on Saturday night that there are big plans for Jack Massey in that cruiserweight division that you can help with?
Yeah, definitely. I remember coming through in Manchester, and he was selling out in Buxton over and over again and growing this huge fan base. And for me, was always destined to go to the top of the cruiserweight division. There's not many fighters that you can say, right, you want to fight against Joseph Parker, a weight above you, and they'll just take it. I think that shows the measure of this man. He's now back at cruiserweight. We know we've got a lot of cruiserweights. Isaac Chamberlain now fighting for the European title. Lawrence Okoli still there. Richard Riapol fighting Chris Smith next. He knows those guys. He'll feel he's at that level, and so it's good to see him back after a year out, and now he gets to show what he's made of in the division that he feels most comfortable in. So massive fights hopefully in the future for Jack, and especially this year.
Yeah, Jack, I'll give you the final word. Do you agree with what Ben said there, that you very much see yourself at that level alongside the names that you listed?
Absolutely, one step at a time. We'll get this fight out of the way on Saturday. And love them fights, the big fights, 100%.
Guys, if you need to have a conversation, have it outside. It's just have a little bit of respect for the undercard fighters. I know everyone's got a job to do and there's interviews going on, but either listen to the fighters or take it outside. Aaron McKenna, I'll come to you next. So the breaking news here is that unfortunately Linus Udofia is out of Saturday night's fight. Linus woke up under the weather yesterday. So commiserations to him. I think as much as we're all disappointed, fighters' health is paramount, and if Linus is not fit to fight, then he shouldn't fight because, like I say, it's a dangerous game. It's a real shame for Aaron McKenna. I know that Boxer and the team are working behind the scenes to try and secure a opponent, and we will have updates on that as soon as we get it. In fact, Aaron, before I come to you, I'll just get a line from Ben Shalom on that. Disappointing, but I know that yourself and Nick Hennessy are trying to sort something out.
Yeah, got it for Aaron. This is the second or third time it's happened to him. Might not be a coincidence. He's a quality fighter. He wants those big fights. I was just speaking to his family back there, and all they want are the big names. And so, gutted for him. There seems to be a good few options out there, which is fortunate, and he'll be on the card, and then hopefully he gets his big fight next. But yeah, gutted for him. He's had the Shaquille Thompson fight, is potentially had the Liam Williams fight pull out, and now this one. It's not great for him, but I think it shows the quality he's at, and I predict big fights for him this year.
Aaron, are you able to just try and put into words your emotions at the moment? I'm sure frustration is top of the list.
Yeah, it's very frustrating for me because it's a regular occurrence at this stage. Last year when Shaquille Thompson pulled out so close to the fight, he bottled it. And then Liam Williams was offered 2 fight dates, and he went to Mexico instead, and he turned the blind. And now this one, which was really close to the fight date just yesterday, when I heard the news that Udofia pulled out, that he felt well, I don't believe it for 1 minute. I think he just bottled it, and I'd like to see medical proof if he is really sick. But yeah, I'd like to give a big thanks to Sky Sports, Boxer, and for working hard behind the scenes to make sure that I'm on the show and get me an opponent, particularly John Rushin. Big shout out to him, he's working very hard to get me an opponent, and just like to give thanks to him.
How important is it now that you lean on your brother, the team, and how can you guarantee that you're not distracted by this, that you don't let emotions get the better of it? You still, at the moment, have a job to do on Saturday night. The replacement is going to be hungry for the upset, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm going to remain focused on the job that I have on Saturday. I don't let anything like this distract me. It's happened to me a lot, so I'm well used to it. And all I can do now is just focus on Saturday, and whoever the opponent is, I'm going to take it out in.
Yeah, and you've trained hard over Christmas, made a lot of sacrifices away from home. How important is it that you do produce a good performance against a name to be announced, that you still show your class?
Yeah, it's very important that I put on a good show, because I put in a very solid training camp. Been to LA, been to Vegas for 3 weeks, and then went over to Manchester and did a lot of sparring with Jack Cullen and Mark Jaffer. So I've been very, very focused on this fight, and yeah, I'm going to make sure it pays off now on Saturday.
Well, sorry for your bad luck, but I'm sure that the team will pull through, and we will have an announcement on that imminently. Let's move on to our first title fight on the undercard, which is the English and Commonwealth Silver Super Middleweight Championship between Mark Jeffers and Jermaine Brown. Let's go to the challenger first, Jermaine Brown. Jermaine, we've got a long relationship with you, you've been on the Boxer cards before. What sort of opportunity is this for you to get yourself back into the big time?
It's a massive opportunity for me. I've had the English title before. I boxed actually and lost to him, but now it's my opportunity to get back. So I've worked hard, I've trained hard, and just get back into the position I was before.
Yeah, the thing about professional boxing is you're only one good win away from getting yourself into the big picture. Do you feel like a win over Mark Jeffers will propel you to where you want to be?
100%. It'll bring back the English title, instead of the Silver Commonwealth, and then hopefully after that we can push on and try to aim for that British title.
What do you know about Mark? How much have you seen of him, and how highly do you rate him?
I haven't seen a lot of him, but from what I have seen, I know he's a strong boxer, he's solid, he looks fit, strong, and he seems smart. So we studied him, me and the team, and we just got a game plan that we're going to stick to in the night, and we're going to come out on top.
I think one thing that can be said about you is you've never run from a challenge. Some of your best wins have come away from home. This won't be something that you'd be overly concerned about, presumably, getting on the road again?
Nah, it's nothing I worry about. You know, a ring's a ring. No matter where it is. I box in Manchester, all these different places, Belarus, everywhere. At the end of the day, it's still a ring. And it doesn't matter where the location is. I want to box, I want to fight, so this is what I want to do. So it doesn't matter the location.
Jermaine, all the best. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Mark, great to have you up here again. I mean, talk about one of the breakout fight figures from last year. I think anybody that listened to Dave and Michael Jennings, your trainers, if they would have listened, we would have known. But you were coming up on the blind side of everybody. Just how happy were you to cause that upset? Maybe not an upset in your eyes, but certainly on paper an upset against Zach Chelli last July. And what did that win do for you in your career?
Last time I come and save the show on the boxing show. This time I'm looking to stay there. Yeah, it's put me in a position now, back on another show against the top fighter, Jermaine Brown. And yeah, I'm looking to do a serious job.
Yeah, what do you know about Jermaine Brown? What did you make of what he had to say there? Talking a good game.
Yeah, no, he's a good fighter. There's no negative stuff to say really, but I know what I can do. I've progressed since my last fight, which I said on the night I was shy, which I was. I was still far too good for Charlie, so that's the level I can operate.
Don't know if I have to apologise for that one. It went a bit close there, didn't it? But apologies. Yeah, I mean, coming in at late notice, did you feel like the pressure was off you completely? And I think you had a shoulder injury early in your career, which hampered you. And like I say, you're coming up off the radar. I suppose now the question is now people know. Now people know how dangerous you are and know what a threat you are. Will that make a difference at all?
Yeah, no. Listen, I'm always ready. 2 weeks notice last time. This time I've got full camp and I've played some serious graft in this camp. Like I said, Evan's been over, obviously Colin, and yeah, everyone's very excited for Saturday night.
Jermaine is a real tough operator. Do you believe that you not only get the win, but that you can make a statement in this fight?
My job's just to win. I believe you're going to see a special performance Saturday night.
Mark, thank you for talking to us. Ben Sean, on that fight, worked with both guys now, and it has the hallmarks of a really good title fight.
Yeah, it's good to see Jermaine back and getting his opportunity again, but Mark Jeffers, I mean, a long time ago, I think they just opened up our office in Manchester and his dad came in with him, and it was probably one of the first, or maybe the first ever fighter I tried to sign. Couldn't quite afford him then, but I knew it's very easy when you're around him to see how ambitious he is, how dedicated he is. He's a proper man's man. He trains extremely hard, and he's got a fantastic trainer, or trainers in Michael and Dave Jennings. I think he's the underdog of the whole division. I think he's possibly right at the top of the tree, and we see what he did against Zach Chelli on late notice, and a lot of people in and around Manchester weren't at all surprised about that. So it's great to see him back. He'll feel confident in this fight, but it's a dangerous fight. Jermaine Brown on the night can cause an upset. So yeah, great fight. But Mark Jeffers, I think, is the one to watch in the division.
Thanks, Ben. Let's make our way up to the top table and I'll introduce our visitor from Brazil, Lila dos Santos Cortado. Lila, thank you for speaking to us today with the help of a translator. I just want to ask you, what do you know about Karis Artingstall and what sort of fight can we expect from you?
¿Sabes de tu oponente y qué crees qué tipo de lucha va a realizar?
Boa tarde. Eu conheço um pouco, né, da minha adversária. Sei que ela foi uma ótima atleta no Olímpico. Então, eu acho que eu treinei bastante para estar aqui. Eu vou dar o meu melhor. Estou preparada para essa luta. Ela treinou muito, eu também treinei e quero muito levar a vitória para casa.
I know that my opponent is a really strong opponent, but I'm very ready for this game, and I want to win and bring the gold to home.
You've been to the UK before, you went the distance with Raven Chapman. How important was that experience and how much will you draw from being in relatively familiar surroundings before?
todo esto ha ayudado o puede ayudar a tu lucha.
Foi uma luta com a Rábia muito difícil, uma luta muito dura, muito aguerrida. E eu tenho certeza que eu vou fazer uma ótima luta, que eu sou preparada e que a Rábia me ajudou muito, né, fazendo uma luta dura comigo. Então eu vou dar o meu melhor.
It was a fight that it was quite hard, but right now I'm in a moment where I feel very prepared for this fight, and everything helped, and everything helps at the moment to just feel more confident and ready for it.
Well, great to have you here. Welcome back to the UK. Wish you all the best of luck on Saturday as well. Thanks for talking to us. Let's bring in Karis Artingstall. Karis, I have to say, very much enjoyed the show that is available on YouTube, the Southpaw Show, which gave us a little bit of an insight into your life in the army, and I'd like to say that I survived that experience as well. But what are you looking to show us on Saturday night, and what do you make of what Lila had to say there?
I'm just looking to put on a good performance really, and just get a win on Saturday night and move forward with my career. I want to be boxing for world titles, especially by the end of this year, so I got to get through people like Lila Furtado and then move on. From what she's just said, I'm assuming she's expecting a tough, hard fight, but she's confident. But nonetheless, I'll come away with that win on Saturday.
Not that you ever suffered with any lack of confidence before, but how much was a confidence booster the fight against Vanessa Bradford, obviously stopping her in a sensational style, but also looking the part and producing what we think is your best performance today as a professional?
I think the confidence is always there for me, to be fair. I think I just big my opponents up massively. It gives me a kick up the arse when I'm training, and it just makes me not underestimate anybody when I step in the ring from them. So on that day, I know I've put all the hard work in, and I know you'll get the best from me, regardless of who the opponent is. But I'm confident. I've had a very, very good training camp. I've felt really good in sparring and whatnot. So yeah, I believe I put on a really, really good performance on Saturday.
When you look at the world rankings, I know that there's a couple of names that I'm going to miss out there, but you look at Amanda Serrano and Sarah Mahfood and Nina Menka, Raven Chapman, Sky Nicholson, Danida Bermudez. When you look at that pack there, do you believe it is just the experience that you require as a pro? It's not a quality or a technical thing, it's that you're ready to pounce, it's just getting rounds in the bank, and 2024 that the world title is a realistic goal?
I'm ready to fight the vast majority of the opponents you just mentioned right now. Bar the likes of Amanda Serrano, I probably need a bit more experience before facing somebody like that.
Well, I'll bring you in there, Ben. I mean, Karis has got aspirations and goals of a world title. I know that the conversation will include Robert McCracken as well as to the route, but what have you made of certainly the last couple of fights where it looks like Karis has really kicked on and world titles look to be in touching distance now?
Yeah, I think, look, when Caroline Karis turned over, Lauren's the NBA, the gold medalist. She's going to create a huge amount of attention, but Karis was always the one that everyone told me, Robert McCracken included, she'll do extremely well as a professional. And we saw that last time out against Vanessa Bradford. It was an incredible performance, really, for someone who's only had a few fights. Next, it would be nice to get the Raven Chapman fight. I think that's a great fight, a British title fight between two fighters that want to get to world level. And then, yeah, the world level, the world titles will be there. So we got no question about Karis's ability. It's now about getting the activity. It's about showing what she did last time again on Saturday night. No one has stopped Furtado before. I'm hoping that we're going to see another career best performance, and then we can move towards that British title. This is another huge British title fight for women's boxing.
Brilliant. Well, thank you. Before we finish, we have our chief supporting contest. So 12 3-minute rounds, 12 or less for the British and Commonwealth super middleweight titles. Jack Cullen and Zach Jelly. It's rematch time. It's time to run it back. So I'm sure both of you have got thoughts on that. I'll come to the challenger first. Zach Jelly, what is different? I've calculated, so it's 1,245 days you've had to live with what you think was the wrong decision. What's different between the 22nd of August 2020 and now?
I was a young buck then, I'm a strong bull now. It's 3.5 years in the making. I wanted the rematch straight away, but obviously our paths went different ways, and now they've collided again, and for a British and Commonwealth title. I couldn't be more grateful. I'm just so happy for this opportunity, and I'm roaring to go. Can't wait for Saturday.
You made some changes behind the scenes. What difference does that make training with Barry O'Connell now down at State of Mind Fitness? In terms of a different Zach Chelly, how different is it, or is it just small tweaks to what we had before?
Barry's a great coach. He's seen what I did well, and he's improving that, and he's finding other little things that were wrong and fixing them for me. You'll see on Saturday, don't give away too much about plan A, B, C, D, list goes on, and I can't wait to show you guys.
Maybe I'm being mischievous, and perhaps we don't have to go over old ground because you were completely different fighters then. I think we all understand that. But has it eaten away at you that you didn't get the decision first time around, and do you hold on to that at all? Does that bring any extra dimension or any animosity towards Jack Cullen?
No, as I said, God's the best plan as this was meant to be. I'm a man who believes in destiny. Our paths are meant to cross again, and for British and Commonwealth titles again, as I say, I'm so happy. Thank you.
In terms of like Jack Cullen, the Renaissance man, he really has put it together and a worthy holder of the British and Commonwealth titles. But at the same time, have you seen weaknesses that you didn't take advantage of last time, and if so, will you share them with us?
Yeah, most definitely. I won't share them. I'll share them on Saturday night. But yeah, most definitely, I've seen some weaknesses that I like to take advantage of, which I should have done better before. I'm sure he's improved. Maybe we don't know, but he had a beautiful knockout for his last fight. But yeah, I'm looking forward to showing what I have, and I can't wait to show people Saturday.
How frustrating was the loss to Mark Jeffers? You were on a tremendous run, particularly the win against Anthony Sims Jr., where you really put it together. What have you looked back on and realised where perhaps you went wrong?
Yeah, everyone has a bad day in office. That's what all it was, really. Of course, maybe once, God willing, once I win the British Commonwealth, I'd be happy to offer Jeffers the title. Fight me for it. If not, I think unless someone's got different ways, we'll see. But I'm not going to look past Jack Cullen now. Jack Cullen's the guy I'm focused on, and that's the one I want, and I want those titles.
Jack, I'll bring you in. I mean, I don't think I've said anything there that should upset you. I think you are two completely different fighters now. When you look at the fighter you were back then, what was the difference, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I was a totally different fighter. I like to say, go from my last fight, or my last couple of fights, moved down to Genesis gym, and top set of lads down there. Everyone's thriving off each other in that gym. That gym's on fire at the minute. Me and Meyer we've been training all over Christmas, New Year, and yeah, listen, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, there's a couple of things I'll come back to the training situation, but in terms of the titles that sit in front of you now, do you hear fighters sort of say that you can search and hunt for those titles, but once you get them, it does give you a lift, it does give you a bit of an extra 10% as champion. Do you feel any different now that you've got those titles? I mean, are you walking around a little league with the titles or not?
The titles will come back under my bed, I'll tell you that. But yeah, listen, at the end of the day, I always train hard anyway, I train hard. This is my life, so like I say, them titles are coming back on with me.
Is it a little bit sweeter though that perhaps by people in the media and those in boxing, they wrote you off pre-Mark Heffron, and perhaps we're all paying the price for doing that a little bit?
Yeah, listen, I got wrote off. The bookies, everyone who knew I was going to do it was in that night, so I've done them all proud.
May I ask you about the Jonas brothers and the influence that they've had on you, perhaps changing you as a fighter, and what difference that has made?
He just changed me as a fighter. Like, at the end of the day, if I didn't go to them back in 3 years ago, I wouldn't be boxing then. That would have been done. It was the time to change for me, and I changed. And like you said, since the change, since I moved from down in that Jenny gym, there's some the amateur lads. They're all flying. All these professional lads, they're all flying. We all train together, and it's a good solid gym.
Do you have any thoughts or feelings on Zach Chelly, and when you look back to, 2020, the first fight, can we read anything into it? With rematches, it's only natural to look at the first fight, but it was so long ago.
Yeah, I mean, of course I watched it back, and I was terrible. Zach could say he was terrible, but if you ask me personally, Zach's never changed. He'll never be able to change. I know he's got a new coach, but He'll not listen to anybody, he'll just do the same wood shine.
Help me out.
Sorry.
Help me out. You can't change, you can't be coached, same old. What's your response to that?
You'll see Saturday night. I mean, I hear he says he wants to go for bigger and better titles. He's had the opportunity twice, and he's lost by knockout think he stays at British level and not take it off.
What do you say to
You're
people?
lucky you've got British talent. You're lucky you've got the shot. If anything, should be Matt Jeffers. And they did. Unfortunately, Matt Jeffers.
Unfortunate for you.
Well, we'll see on Friday night, won't we? You're done. You're done, mate.
You're the one with the grey hairs, mate. You're done.
I've had grey hairs since 22-year-old. You go around grey hairs and I've had kids, making like I've pushed them out or something. Mad.
Sorry, I didn't understand what you said.
I should just. I think I'm going to have to apologise for that as well. Thank you for that one, Jack. And I should just say no one should be persecuted for grey hairs at all. Just keep those out of the crosshairs. Help me out here, Ben, without any profanity. This fight has all the hallmarks. We like a rematch, don't we? This is, I wouldn't say needle. Well, I would say needle. I wouldn't say bad blood, but there's certainly needle between the two of them. But I would also concede that both are better fighters from the original fight. So are you expecting this one to perhaps be a show stealer?
I think so. I think Shelley definitely won that first fight. Jack Cullen for me is a completely different fighter though. And I think Jack's right in the sense Jack does need to show a change. I think he needs to show a change from his last fight, otherwise Jack will win this fight. Jack has just improved immensely. I think whatever's going on in that Jennings gym at the moment is pretty special. I think Michael's got an incredible boxing brain and just seems to be able to get the best out of fighters, and so it's great to see that gym fly in. But yeah, Zach's going to have to do something for me completely different, and it's good that he's changed his trainer, and I think he's going to have to change his game plan on Saturday night. But a great fight, and we've got a great champion here in Jack Cullen. I think the division with Callum Simpson, Mark Jeffers, Jack Cullen, Zach Shelley, I think that's 4 of the top 5 in Britain. Some great fights to be made. But yeah, great fight on Saturday, and yeah, we love a rematch.
Yeah, we love a rematch, and all those questions, well, we'll have the answers for you on Saturday night. That concludes the Undercard press conference. Just a little bit of housekeeping from Boxer and Lawrence Lustig. Any of the fighters here that have got to go and have their photos done, please remember your kit and any belts. We're going to pose for their heads now. If everyone could just stay seated so those at the back can get their shots, but don't go anywhere because it'll be a short turnaround, and then we'll have our main event press conference.
Liverpool, as this Saturday we see a continuation of a classic boxing matchup, the United Kingdom versus the United States, as Boxer and Top Rank have put forward 2 of the biggest stars in women's boxing to go head-to-head here in Liverpool for a World Championship live on Sky Sports and ESPN around the world. I'd first like to welcome back the host of our press conference, Mr. Andy Scott, and the CEO and promoter of this event for Boxer, Mr. Ben Shalom. And now introducing the 2 halves of this main event competing for the IBF Welterweight Championship of the world. First, the challenger, joined by her trainer, Al Mitchell. She is the former unified IBF, WBO, and Ring Magazine Super Featherweight Champion of the world. She is one of the most popular American boxers on this side of the pond. Fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, USA, please welcome Michaela Meyer. And now the defending champion, joined by her trainer, Joe Gallagher. She is also a former unified world champion, having held the WBC, WBO, and IBF Super Welterweight Championships. She is the fighting pride of Liverpool, the reigning, defending IBF Welterweight Champion of the world. Here is Natasha Jonas. And now back to you, Mr. Andy Scott.
Thanks, Big Mo. Well, we're really excited for this fight on Sky Sports. I think one of the things that was given as a challenge to Boxer and Ben Shalom and everybody that was involved is when we did the historic Women's Night, it was how do we build on that? How do we make sure that that's not a one-off? How do we make sure that the momentum that everybody built up in that event and the weeks and months afterwards, how do we make sure that that doesn't fall away? And I think everybody at this top table has picked up that baton and run with it, and this is an example that the foundations that everybody has laid is now building into high rises. This is a rivalry between 2 ambassadors for the sport, 2 terrific fighters in their own right, but also 2 fighters where there isn't perhaps a natural grudge match. It's a rivalry based purely on professional ambition, wanting to be the best, wanting to continue to be the best, and trying to continue to smash through that glass ceiling. So thank you to everybody that's involved. we're really excited to get this fight done. What a way for Boxer to open their account in 2024. And it must be special as well because Natasha Jonas, your first professional world champion, Ben, and the journey continues.
It does continue. It feels like the culmination of 2 years. I think when Tasha first signed it, I think we did a 6 or 8 rounder down in London, and then we were up and we found a world title. But to have it develop into this, and for her to realise everything that she worked for the past 15 years, you know, for us it's been a 2-year journey, but for Natasha it's been 15 years of graft, and to see her getting what she deserved, to see her getting the accolades that she always deserved it's an amazing moment for us to headline back in Liverpool, to be selling a show like the way this is sold. She's got memorials going up around the city. She's a true Liverpool legend. I've been in Liverpool with her in recent weeks, and she means so much to this city, and this city means so much to her. So to bring her back as a multi-weight world champion, as someone fighting now Michaela Meyer and having a dance partner like this in a huge fight for women's boxing, it's a special moment for Boxer and for Sky Sports, but for Natasha, this is everything that she's worked for, everything that she deserves. She's broken so many records, and I think she'll go down in history. And a great night on Saturday for the city to celebrate her, and for boxing to see a great fight.
We'll have a chance to speak to everybody at the top table, but I will start with the champion in her hometown, Natasha Jonas. I think this is one of the biggest compliments that we can pay both of you, that this fight was not made over social media. It wasn't made through a deep-rooted rivalry that went back to the amateur days of a disputed decision. It was made between two very proud professional fighters who want to be the best, and you stood in front of each other and effectively did the deal. Yes, I know there's financial constraints, that there's people at Boxer and Top Rank are probably pulling their hair out of me saying that. But actually, what does that say about you, and what does that say about Michaela, that one of the main reasons we're sat here now is because both of you wanted it?
Yeah, it's a big statement to make, you know, so many times we see the best not fighting the best, and for whatever reason, but you know, she wants to be in that. I believe that for me to class myself as one of the best in this era, I have to fight the best. And I look at, you know, some of the boxers in the list, the Katie Taylors, the Chantal Cameron, they beat people in the top 10 pound for pound list. And for me to be able to solidify a legacy for myself, I believe I have to do the same. And Michaela's in that list, and yeah.
I'll come straight to you. I mean, it's quite nice to speak about the two of you without the fear of tables or glasses going flying, although, you know, famous last words before, it's still early days. But when you hear Tasha speak like that, it is a statement of intent from both of you. To be the best, you've got to beat the best, and she puts you in that best bracket, even though you don't have a world title bringing to the table at this very moment. But how happy are you that we've got this far, just days away now?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've been wanting to be back in this position for a year now. I've had to take a small setback. But to me, I agree with Natasha Jonas, and it's not just about the belt. It's not just about becoming a world champion again. It's about challenging myself against the best and having those names on my resume and knowing that I did my absolute best to challenge myself against the other great girls in this sport, so that I can truly say I'm a pound-for-pound fighter in this era. So that's what's really important to me. One, for my own legacy, and two, for the fans, because I know these are the type of fights that they want to see. And us women have been doing that, and we're continuing to do that. And it's what we got to do to show the world that we belong in the sport and that we have a place here.
Yeah, I mean, Ben Shalom's smile will say it all, but ticket sales reflect that. I mean, there is a huge amount of interest in this fight. There's always a huge amount of interest when you're back in Liverpool, Tasha, because I know you've had to buy your trade just down the road in Manchester. There's Joe going to raise a little smile there. But let me ask you, and to use one of Joe's phrases, you haven't always perhaps had your flowers. You know, you've, despite what you've achieved as a two-weight world champion, there's still more work to be done. There's still dreams to achieve. There's still things that you want to tick off your bucket list as a pro. This sort of fight probably represents that. To walk out at your home arena, the M&S Bank Arena, what will that mean to you? That's one thing. But it's not about, this isn't like a retirement speech. You've got to win. You know, this fight is there to be won. You have to make sure that you do your job to make sure that this isn't a great event, Natasha, but you don't come out the winner.
Yeah, but listen, I get on at Ben all the time, but you know, Ben does his job and secures me the fights. I've got to do my job, and that's win them. So far we're on a great run, but you know that it's so quickly in boxing, the door's shut when the results don't go your way. We've both experienced that now, and none of us want that to happen again. So to keep them doors open and to keep them opportunities and them bigger dreams beyond this alive, I've got to focus on what happens on Saturday and make that dream come true. And to box in front of me home crowds, you know, it's been an honour this week and a privilege to be celebrated and recognised by the community and the city that helped shape the woman I've become. I've got a mural on the wall where I used to go around and kick a football, and a little girl in the streets with big dreams, and now my little girl's looking at the realisation of the woman I've become and the woman I've become. And it's a credit to this city and what it's made me and what it's built up in me and have to be to be successful. And yeah, it's an honour and a privilege.
It's not my job to create a fake war of words between the two of you because it simply doesn't exist. But at the same time, you know that you're facing a top quality fighter with a wily old fox in the corner, if I may call you that, Coach. A man that's been there, seen it and done it. You know that they will have what they think is the game plan to unlock your game plan with Joe Gallagher. What sort of fight can we expect as neutral fans?
I just think it'll be a good fight. You know, we've both got the IQ and the ability to be able to box. We've both got the skill and the strength to be able to fight if we need to. That being said, I think our stars will gel to make a great fight. And yeah, I'm not going to be a reactive fighter and waiting to see what she pulls out the bag. I'm going to be putting my best foot forward and making her work for me from the get-go.
Do you believe, Michaela, that you've been here, and unless my maths is going to fail me, this is fight number 4 here? Yeah, thank God. That was almost embarrassing. Do you believe that you spent enough time here that you know what to expect, and you've spent enough time around Natasha that you feel that you have the read of her, and will you concede anything to us of what you two have been working on, you and Coach Al, that you can sort of give us to add a little bit more to this fight? What are you preparing for, and what can we expect from you?
Well, one, Natasha has a ton of experience, right? She has that amateur pedigree. She's gone up against plenty of different styles. And she's had to learn how to adjust to those styles. Same with me. That's why I think, you know, having that amateur pedigree is such an advantage. So we both have that, but it's going to be a really strategic fight because she's a southpaw, I'm an orthodox. Obviously, I have a technician in my corner who's big on strategy, big on technique, and he has a game plan specifically for that I absolutely have to follow if I don't want to get in trouble after the fight. But we've been working good on it. We've brought in some great sparring partners for this camp, and I feel confident.
I think that the number one question that everybody's probably been asking you this week is how are you feeling at this point in fight week compared to previous fight weeks when we know that making weight was, you always did it, but we know it was hard. Do you feel any different in yourself? Do you feel any different throughout camp? And if so, how?
Yeah, everyone thinks that the fight week was the hard part of making weight, but that's what made 130, or me making 130, that's why that was so unique for me, is it wasn't just about making weight on fight week. That weight cut started 10 weeks out. You know, I was dieting down from day 1 of camp. And so not having to do that this time and maybe doing it a little bit in a more normal way and starting to watch my diet 3 weeks out or so, I was able to stay strong throughout camp, stay fully fueled, and I just felt a lot happier. It was a lot more fun for me. I feel like I
was just
could
going to say,
think
my
clearer.
question probably should have been to Marquette, to Mel, and to Al, to George Ruiz in terms of your mood. You probably can't answer, you probably thought you were always happy. But you seem like a happy camp, perhaps it is making a difference.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, I think we all got a little bit of crankiness, but my crankiness started a little bit later. It wasn't as long. My cranky period wasn't as long. But you know, I wasn't able to put on a ton of muscle between those fights anyway because I knew I had to diet back down to 130, and my weight was just fluctuating so much, and that does a lot to your body and a lot to your hormones. So I'm just looking forward to seeing. I know I have the experience now where I don't need to be cutting all that weight. I have the experience, I have the strength, I have the skill, and I want to be comfortable. And so, you know, we'll see how that translates on Saturday night, and I hope you see my power, and I hope you see how comfortable I feel.
Yeah, let's bring in trainer Joe Gallagher. I wonder if you have any thoughts on Michaela stepping up in weight. It's something that the pair of you did tremendously successful. Was it 3 weights jumping up, and you know you knew when to go, when not to go, and put it all together on the Christian Namas night. What do you think of Michaela stepping up in weight and what effect that could have?
Listen, only for Michaela and her team to talk about that, how she is performing in the gymnasium, standing, but no one really knows till fight night how they're going to perform. I think Michaela will obviously be relieved in the same way that Natasha was when she had to boil down for Terry Hart, Katie Taylor. As you said there seems to be a bit more happier fight week. They don't have the dread of having to make weight, they don't have to deal with the loading up straight away afterwards, and the work that they can do in the gymnasium, they can do boxing work, they don't have to do making weight work, and there's two different things. And when you're in a gymnasium where you don't have to make weight, you can work in boxing and tactics and skill sets and different things, where sometimes a lot of fighters, it's getting their fight week, the tactics and the skills go out the window because they've got to concentrate and do big sessions to cut weight. And no one really knows how anyone's got to perform on fight night when they've got to make big weight cuts. It's just a hope and a prayer that hopefully it comes off, because in training camp you show me a part of training camp where you put your body through losing a big lost weight and then go and spar 10-12 rounds the next day. They don't, so it's always a hope and a prayer. But like I say, Michaela, obviously with Natasha, she felt comfortable. Natasha always had the power as an amateur. She won ABA titles at 75 kilos, 71 kilos. So we knew when she moved up, she always had the equaliser in her backhand. But people have mentioned this week about Natasha's power. Listen, it's nothing to do with Natasha's power, and I hate about it because we're going into this fight on skill set. We're on about 2 girls, 2 Olympians. You don't get to qualify for the Olympics to represent your country and just power alone. You're on skill set and brains, and both these ladies here are class fighters, and they've got shown Saturday night boxing, female boxing, at its very best at a quick pace with a certain set of game plans going in there and set of skills that both girls during the contest were going to have to switch styles of things out working, switch tactics and things, and be able to adapt and apply in the heat of the moment, and that's what's going to happen on Saturday night.
Mind if I just ask you for an unbiased view on Tasha Jonas, just in terms of one, what she's achieved, and two, what she's like for the other fighters in the gym. You know, we know you've got Mikey Talon on the bill and Jack Massey, but when they look across the gym and they see Tasha Jonas, what she came through, what she's still achieving now, it must be a huge motivator for them, and it must be a pleasure for you to have to train her, even if her timekeeping is not always A+.
No, listen, I think that's the timekeeping, that's something I think might come through the Rotunda days. Do you know what I mean? She isn't the only one that used to come in late and let in there. So, but listen, listen, there's better people out there to speak better of her, of what she's done and what she's achieved. And this is why we've got to win Saturday night. Natasha knows if she doesn't win Saturday night, the doors are shut, and them doors won't be open again for her. When she had the speed bump against Obinoff, and then lost to Terry Harper, then Katie Taylor, it was like, that's her done. But the tenacity, the desire and the fire in her belly showed that she wasn't done. And she came back and she won. She took her opportunity with both hands in the same way that Michaela's going to try and do on Saturday night. But Natasha Jonas isn't just your normal fighter. She's something special. Everything she seems to touch her, she turns to gold. Every time I ask her to do something, she does. She's one of the best. I've always said I wish I could train 10 Natasha Jonases. She's right up there, one of the best that I've ever trained. She's very coachable. She comes in, and as you said there, she's an example to people in the gym. The gym now with a new wave of talent, new prospects coming in. They see Natasha coming in the gym. She was ring champion, unified champion, boxer of the year. She comes in, warms up, does her thing, trains and everything else. She doesn't come in with 2 or 3 people with her attention to detail. I can send her video content over an opponent and a breakdown, and it'll be back to me within 5-10 minutes of what she thinks. Some lads in the gym will come in the next day and go, oh shit, I haven't watched that yet, sorry for swearing. But that's it, so that just gives you an idea of her. I'm really pleased now. She won the WBC belt here in Liverpool, which was a big night for her. And like I said, we've had some great nights in Liverpool, and this is another one, and it's good to be back in Liverpool with Natasha, and obviously fighting a good name with Michaela Meyer, and I think, yeah, it's got to be a good fight that night. I have nothing but praise for Natasha. There isn't big enough words to say how good or whatever she is, and I think no matter what she touches to now, she started managing now Mikey Talon. She's got her manager's coat, or I call it Steve Wood's coat. She turns up to events with it on now. She's got bright future in the sport, and also in career going forward as well.
You won't get me in trouble. Apologies for any of the profanity that slipped out there, Joseph. Coach Al Mitchell, I want to bring you in. I mean, what you don't know about boxing isn't worth knowing. I mean, one of the OGs, I think I can say that, alongside Kay Karoma, who's been co-training for this. Are we dwelling too much on the step up in weight? Is this something that you were campaigning for a long time ago? It's of interest to us, but perhaps behind closed doors it's not a big talking point for you guys.
First, I want to take my hat off to Nicola Jones' coach, because he's a great coach. I watched the strategy that he got, that he tells the young lady, and the young lady is sound. She's a good boxer. In my heart, I come way back from the old school and everything. I think this is the Tommy Hearns and Hagler fight. Only it's two women. You know, good strategies is. I watched the game plans and everything. Michaela lost one bout, and it could have went. You know, and I know. Same for her. You know, they was right there and everything. You know, so the coach always get blamed. You know, and I watch her. She talented. But what I like about Miss Jones, she got personality. She got class, just like my athlete. It's a great fight. Everybody should be out to see this fight. I'm just mad because it's not in the United States. Okay? But both of them is talented, both of them good boxers. I watched the way she rode on under. I watched the way she stepped around. She does the same. It's who will give us the middle rounds that's going to step up. Sometimes it's the coaches that put them over the cliff. Sometimes it's the athlete. Mentally, they say, shoot. I don't want to use the S word.
Yeah, help me out.
But shoot, I want it, you know. Both of them are the stepping stones that now one of them want to lose. So this is what it's all about. I think this got a chance of being fight of the year. But I guarantee you, I think it's going to be like Tommy Hearns and Hagler. And if anybody watch that fight, I tell you, every minute, every second, everybody going to be watching. And we should get more boxers like this. And what I mean, the personalities, they ain't throwing nothing at each other, not arguing about each other, they're just focusing on the fight. And that's good coaching. Number two is, they will give us 110% in that ring. This is the fight. You know, we need more men like these two ladies. They stepping up, and they don't care who it is. If I could get Tyson, she'd try to fight Tyson right now. If the money's right. But let's face it, the women boxing nowadays is the ones stepping up. I don't even pay money no more to see them in. The women, they challenging themselves. They boxing everybody. If you got a name or your title or you number one and number two, they want you. And that's what boxing should be about. Boxing is dying. Don't let nobody tell you. Men boxing is dying. The women is the ones that bringing it up. Great fights, and I'm hoping to keep that.
Okay, well, I hope you're wrong about some of it, but I hope you're wrong about some of it. Great words from a great man who's been there, seen it, and done it, and got the t-shirt or a wardrobe full. Just, if I may finish on this, Michaela and Tash, I'll give you a chance to address each other almost, but just because there isn't, you know, a war of words here doesn't mean that when the first bell rings it isn't going to be hellfire raining down. You're both motivated, you both want this, you want to keep hold of your title that you worked so hard to get, and you want to make sure that you become a two-weight world champion and go home with the belt. So will you give us your final thoughts? Are we not getting carried away with the great sort of camaraderie here, but doesn't mean that when the first bell rings that the respect isn't going to go out the window?
Yeah, the respect has to go out the window that first round, because I know that I'm in her hometown. I may not have the crowd in my favor, and like Coach Al said, this is two quality opponents. We're both at the top of our game, tons of experience, and so we both don't want to lose. I have no room to let a round or two slide away, so it's no respect from that first bell.
You echo that. Great advert for the sport, all the hallmarks of a great fight, but once that first bell rings, you can't afford to be a spectator, you have to fight fire or fire.
Exactly, yeah, you know, when the final bell goes off the 10, that's when we'll go back to being the way we were before, but in the best of the 10 rounds. It's business, and that's all it is. It's your business.
Ben, just to finish, if Coach Al Mitchell was right, Hagler Hearns, then you know, a fight of the year contender, and it's your first show, so you got to be having your fingers crossed for this one.
Yeah, it's one we've been looking forward to for a long time. It's just a great fight, two great trainers as well. And yeah, regardless of everything that they've achieved before for boxing fans, there's so many question marks around this fight. Michaela's first venture at welterweight. Michaela facing, I think, a southpaw for the first time as well. Anything can happen in this fight. It's two quality operators, and final tickets remaining. You know, this is a superstar coming home in your hometown in the biggest fight of her career. I think it's going to be electric on Saturday night, and I can't wait. Thank you to everyone involved.
Yeah, not long to wait now. Just go and consume some of that build-up content on the Boxer, Sky Sports social media channels. It's really good build-up. Fair play to both of you for getting involved and not telling any lies. We're going to break now for head-to-heads. Everyone's going to get a chance for their one-on-ones as well. So just again, if everyone can stay seated, everyone will get their shot. But thank you for joining us, and we'll be back for the weigh-in tomorrow.